Excuse me.
Bless you. What's going on, faithfuls?
Thank you.
The Nothing But Niners crew is back in the building. I am joined today by my man Eric. What's going on, baby? How you doing?
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm good, man. Ready to talk some 49
Yeah,
football.
absolutely, man. We could talk Niners all day, but I think it's going to be a quick one because we got a game preview here to discuss. We got to go over this Colts game that's coming up. We normally do it behind enemy lines, but believe it or not, couldn't find any Colts fans out there.
Not
So
not
before
many,
we get
I'd imagine. Once Manning left, haven't had much. I had a year or two with luck, but outside of that, not too much to be happy about as a Colt fan.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That seems to be what's going on. So before we get into any of that, I want to let people know where to find us. Again, this is Nothing But Niners. My name is Mike, and that's Eric over there with me. We are representing nothingbutniners.com. You guys already know. If you haven't checked out the website, make sure you do that, okay? Nothingbutniners.com. There you will be led to all of the different things that we have. We have a Snapchat and a Twitter. Those handles are Nothing But 9ERS. Make sure you give us a follow on both of those pages, all right? We have a Facebook page, Nothing But Niners, that is spelled all the way out, just like the website. You guys can find us there. Click the like button. Tell somebody else to check us out, and tell them to tell their mother if they have them. God bless, to check us out. Also, you know what I mean. We everywhere you want to be. All right. We also have a podcast. If you guys are in the podcast, check us out there. We have iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio. I mean, any podcast forum that you listen to, that is where we are. So I'm done with all the introductions. I'm not going to introduce my personal page. Eric, you want to give him your Twitter handle, though, man?
Oh yeah, Eric_Crocker on Twitter. Uh, talk football all day. Talk 49ers. Ask me any questions about anything, pretty much. I'm always willing to talk some football.
Absolutely. This man talks football so much. He's guesting on other podcasts, too, man. You were just on the Schemecast, right? Tell them what that was about and everything. Shout out to the people over there at 49ers Hub. They're doing the Schemecast
Yeah,
over there. I believe that was with Rich, right?
yeah. Rich and Jay, I believe they reached out to me and wanted to talk some defensive backs, and that's pretty much what I focus on. Not just with 49ers, but any game I watch, I'm usually watching the defensive backs just because that's where my eyes are kind of naturally drawn to. So we talk defensive backs a little bit about the 49ers, and I'm willing to, I'm excited to touch on that a little bit on this YouTube.
Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So let's start there, man. Let's talk because when I step back and I look at the 49ers, I reflect, right? What I'm looking for is I want to know who's going to step up, who's going to have a good game, who's going to have a bad game. And every week so far, I feel like the DBs are the weakness of this team. Now, you said you paid much attention to it, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't understand what I'm looking at. Maybe this is more about the scheme and not the players. But when I'm stepping back and I'm looking at it, it looks like the players are just not quite up to par. And in particular, my man Rashard Robinson. So what's going on, man? You use your professionally trained eye. Tell us what you're seeing, man. Give us a breakdown of our secondary.
All right, so I can break down a lot of different things on why I think Rashard hasn't played as well, but I think it kind of boils down to if you think about maybe a jump shooter, say a Klay Thompson. I'm near the Bay Area, so I'll go with Klay Thompson or Curry, and that they're good shooters. They have all the talent. You've seen them, do, shoot well many times, but every once in a while, those guys go through a slump. And for whatever reason, they just have to get out of that slump. The shots just aren't falling. Things just aren't going their way. It goes in the rim and boom, 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 bomb, comes out. That's kind of what's going on with Rashard Robinson right now. He's in a slump, and as a defensive back, one step here, one step there, that can result in a catch, a touchdown, a flag, a little touch here. Sometimes they let guys get away with it. Sometimes they don't. A lot of it has gone against him. And I think that's kind of when I take a step back and just think about the position, it looks like that's kind of what's going on. I think some of it is a little self-inflicted. I think that Rashard could definitely do a better job knowing the mental part of the game, understanding route concepts. I think that would help him a lot. But for the most part, on a lot of things, it seems like he just, he had a ball late in the game, had a chance to intercept the ball and in the game and hit right off both hands. Just things like that. That's just things just aren't going your way. But he's definitely, if you want to talk about from a talent standpoint, he is hands down the most talented defensive back that the 49ers have. But from a mental standpoint, things just not going his way. he looks like the worst defensive back that the 49ers have. So that's what's going on with him. Outside of Rashard Robinson, I think Dante Johnson, he is who he is. He's not really a big play guy. Last big play he's really made, he made a couple in probably like consecutive weeks. His rookie year, when he was playing in the slot, he broke up a pass against the Giants. And Borland, we all remember Borland. Borland ended up intercepting it. And he had a pick six against the Rams late in that game his rookie year. But since then, he hasn't really come up with many big plays. Outside of one, I remember in the preseason, he had an interception against the Chargers in the preseason, like last year. So he kind of is who he is. You know, he's not – he's kind of just there. He's not really going to be the reason you lose, but he's not going to do anything to really stand out. That's kind of what I see from him.
Right.
Kawhi Williams has done very well. He hasn't been targeted as much as the guys on the outside. But I think, you know, just his zones, watching how he moves in it, watching how he is against the run, he's done very well. He kind of got lost a little bit in space a couple times. I remember one time off the top of my head against the Rams. He gave up kind of a deep ball down, getting lost in his zone a little bit. Against the Rams, he kind of gave up a deeper catch against Watkins. That's not really a good matchup for him. But for the most part, he's held his own. I was skeptical of seeing him on Larry Fitzgerald. And I really didn't want to see that. I was like, I don't want to see this kid on Larry Fitzgerald. And for the most part, until like that last play, man, he really shut Larry Fitzgerald out. I mean, the corners as a whole did a good job on him. But so with him, yeah, kind of touched on all the corners there if anybody has any on just the corners. And then the safeties, I'll talk about the safeties a little bit.
Yeah.
Really impressed with Tart. Really impressed with Tart, who might be like, if you had to put like, you know, a most valuable player right now, as far as our defensive backs, he'd be the MVP in my eyes. He's played middle free safety. Well, got an interception against the Panthers. He's playing in the box. I've seen him set the edge, make tackles for loss. I've seen him do all that. He's played linebacker. He's played in the slot. I mean, he would hands down be the most valuable player in our secondary. And if it weren't for Buckner playing so well, I would say maybe even the most valuable guy that we've had on defense. But, you know, Buckner's kind of killing it down there in the trenches.
Word up. That's what's up, man. So I tend to agree with everything you're saying. The one thing I don't know if I can agree with is you saying that Robinson is the most talented guy in that secondary, man. Well, maybe you meant corners. I don't know. I think Jimmy Ward's got a lot of Tart.
Yeah. I kind of skipped over Ward, but yeah. When I say talent, I'm talking about like the total pack. Like when you think of a cornerback in your head, it's like, hey man, I want a cornerback for this scheme. He fits all that. He can run. He runs in the 4.4s. He's damn near 6'2", inches tall. He's scrappy. He's actually more willing to come up for hits. He might whiff, but he's willing to throw his body in there. He can run downfield with just about anybody. And then he's a dog. He has that dog mentality. So when athletic wise, he's right there with the best of them. It's just, you know, like I said, the mental part of it. In the NFL, you're not going to win off athleticism every play. Got to have the mental part of the game down.
Yeah. So we have a question here, and we'll get to this, and then we'll go ahead and get to this game preview. The question is, should we think about or should we move Jimmy Ward back to corner? People, let me tell you, man, before you answer, listen, man, people are really, really worried. Like, and I'm one of them, bro. Like, people are really worried about how good Rashard Robinson really is. Was it a lot of hype? Like, last year, it seemed like when people were counting him out, you know, he had to work. He had to earn his spot and everything. Like, he worked for it, and I was impressed with him as a guy who was coming in off the bench. You know what I mean? Like, when he was in the rotation. It seems like now that he's a starter, it's like, bro, like, this ain't what we expected from you. Like, where's like you said, that dog? Like, where is that fight that we saw in him, that scrappiness? You know what I mean? And you can see it because when he does make a play, he's the first one to get back up and he pull the mouthpiece out. He ready to run his mouth. You know what I mean? He want to shoot the shit with people. You know what I mean? Like, I like that. That's what you want to see. You want to see that kind of confidence in your corner. But it's like, you causing penalty just way too much to still be talking like that. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know if we should be making that switch. I want to get your opinion on it, man. I don't know.
All right, so just off the top of my head, and I'm just speaking in the actual season, how many times has Robinson gotten beat deep off the top of your head?
Uh, it was a reception or like a penalty, and they got the yards anyway.
I'll go with reception.
Maybe twice.
I can't really think of any off the top of my head. So he hasn't really done bad downfield. I just think it's like a lot of it's the missed plays, and then judgment calls that are kind of giving him, a hard time. He's giving up a lot underneath. 10 to 15 yards, he's giving up a lot of that, which I think he
Okay.
needs to trust himself a little bit more.
So
Um,
when you said
but go ahead.
how many deep plays, that I was trying to think, when I think deep, I think 20 yards or more. But I know that he's giving up a lot
Yeah,
of first downs though, like because you know what I mean.
yeah,
I
he
couldn't.
has.
It was hard for me to answer that question.
Yeah, 10 to 15 yards, he definitely has given that up, and that's so how I when I talk about the cornerback position, how I teach it with my guys. If you can run, you got the speed, you got the 4.4 speed, 4.5 speed. You have to trust your athleticism. Be willing. I don't want to say give up the deep ball, but you have to be willing to take a chance. And if they throw a fade, I'm gonna be able to get in position to at least knock the ball away. All right. So how I tell my guys, and we saw Robinson break up a deep ball down the left sideline against Brown. I thought he played that perfect, and I'll explain why. How I teach my guys: press coverage, you line up, be patient at the line. They take an outside release. Do not get to upfield shoulder. When you get upfield shoulder, you are suspect to giving up the either the slant. If you get upfield shoulder right away, they can come right underneath you and slap you by, run a slant. Um, if they run anything deeper, they can get a dig. If you're upfield shoulder, they can slap you by. They can run a dig across your face. If you get upfield shoulder, they can run those deep comebacks, which we've seen him give up. But if you're on the lower hip, we call it excuse my language. You call it dick to hip. All right, you want to have dick to hip. If you're on the lower hip, now he has to come through you for everything that's underneath. He might have a step on you deep, but if you're a guy like Robinson who can run, now that's your chance to, okay, now they threw it deep. I'm just going to run under it and I'm going to knock it away. Or maybe I might be in perfect position to get a pick. But what I'm not going to do is be upfield shoulder and give up everything underneath, which we have seen from really both of our corners out on the outside.
Okay.
So I probably should be, coaching the 49ers right now, really. I probably help a lot.
Hell yeah, man. Look, man, volunteer your services is something, man. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
Coach Halfley needs some help or some better assistance.
I got him.
But so I'm assuming that means no, you were comfortable with who we have there. You wouldn't put Ward over at corner.
Oh man, I've thought about it, but you don't want to take away from. I mean, I would rather see Witherspoon first before I move Ward to corner. Ward at safety with Tart and Reed, if they're all on the field, it gives us way more versatility. You can do way more with those three guys on the field at all that safety, especially with Tart being able to line up in at linebacker or in the slot. Now, if you say early downs, we're gonna have, or in our base package, we're gonna have Ward at corner, Tart at free, Reed at strong, and then if we go to dime, now you start moving some of those guys around, and Ward goes to free, and somebody comes in that corner. I mean, that's a lot of moving pieces, and you might become somewhat predictable, but that might be something that I would be, willing to get. I think Ward would be great. Ward has pretty good technique at corner, really good. I said it before. He's our best corner on the team. He's our
Yeah,
best corner. But
yeah, I agree. I agree with
uh, you have to. I would throw Witherspoon out there a little bit and see what he can do before I move Ward to corner.
that. All right, and then so last question for you here, and this is from it says with our front seven. With them being as good as they are, how come we're not jamming these wide receivers to throw off timing in the passing routes?
All right. I think jamming receivers, even though you're only a half a yard away, or unless it's a Z receiver or whatever, and they're off the ball, or especially in the slot where they're really off the ball, it's a lot harder to jam a receiver than it seems. They're really quick, especially those smaller, quick twitch guys. Those are the hardest guys to guard. The smaller guys are extremely difficult to jam at the line. Because if you try too hard to jam, you might miss them, and then they might
He gone.
take off and really have So it's like you have to really play. I tell my guys, feet before hands. You got to play with your feet before you play with your hands, and it's hard. It's really hard to press those guys. So I know it sounds like, oh, we need to be pressing this guy or pressing that guy, but it's definitely a lot. Now Fitzgerald, yeah, probably press him. Um, a bigger receiver, Moncrief, who we're playing this week, press Moncrief. But T.Y. Hilton, it's gonna be a lot harder to get your hands on him at the line of scrimmage.
Okay. All right, and that's a perfect spot to transition right into this game preview. So, I mean, I was looking at some of the numbers for the Colts this week, man. And like I said, we're doing this instead of behind enemy lines because we couldn't really dig up any Colts fans that were willing to come on the video. Found a couple of Colts fans, but timing, and they didn't really, weren't too sure about how they felt about this game, which says a lot. You know what I mean? It kind of says a lot about what to expect. But it was hard to find somebody to jump on here with us. So we're going to do this instead of behind enemy lines. I was looking at the numbers, man, and the Colts don't really have a favorable. So, for example, if you look at the passing yards that the Colts have this year so far, 811, but what they've given up is 1187. You look at the rushing yards that they've had this year so far. The Colts are at 341 rushing yards. They've given up 451. They're giving up four yards a carry, man. Like, what are the Colts going to do that's going to pose a threat to the 49ers? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. And we have, according to PFF, the #1 special teams unit. So, I mean, I'm trying to figure out what exactly they can do to beat the 49ers. What do you think, man? Put some doubt in me right now, Eric.
Sorry about that.
Uh-oh.
My wife keeps calling. I'm sending her a voicemail. But if I were the Colts, their only chance is. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see. I can't see you though.
The only chance that the Colts have to beat us is they have to be able to get the ground game going. If you have to rely on Brissett to throw the ball around and beat the 49ers, I don't think that's going to happen. If they can get the run game going and open that up, then you might be able to do some things through the air. But if they can't get the run game going, and then now our defensive line, who is sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Our defensive line, who is
they're not really the best at just pure pass rushers. But if you get a team in a position where all they can do is kind of drop back and throw, and he's not. I mean, every quarterback we've seen so far is better than this guy. So I don't think with our strength, which is really our run defense, is probably our strength of our defense. I don't think it's a good matchup for the Colts at all. Some of these other teams, I'll be like, man, I can see how they can, match up better than us here or there, or maybe they have guys, but I don't see where the Colts match up better than us on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. I'm absolutely listen, man. I agree with you 110%. So I do want to talk about the ground game really quick. This is what I had to say. I put up a message in the group chat, and I said I'm going to piss off a lot of 49er fans with this comment that I had. I am so tired of the Frank Gore dick riding this week. And I love Frank Gore. I love Frank Gore. I have a Frank Gore jersey. I'm talking about the Reebok joint, like not just some new one that I got with Frank Gore's name on it. Like I got the big, heavy, you know what I mean? The one that was, you pay almost $300 for the jersey. I have the Frank Gore jersey. I love Frank Gore to death. For 49ers in recent memory. But the way the media was on him, the way that they talking about Frank Gore, the way they asking everybody about Frank Gore, man, this shit was getting on my nerves so much, bro. Like they asking Kyle Shanahan about Frank Gore. Why? He's not the defensive coordinator. He never coached him. He never had a chance to draft him. Why are you asking Kyle Shanahan about Frank Gore and what he thinks about him? Like this it was pissing me off all week long. It seemed like there's more 49er fans cheering for the Colts because of Frank Gore than there are actual Colts fans cheering for the Colts. I was so pissed off this week, man. So I was so bothered by that, man. Like when you sitting around, you watching this kind of stuff and everything, man. Like it's got to get to you, man. Like I like Frank Gore, I love Frank Gore and everything. I know he's just a couple of yards off from moving up to number 7 on the all-time rushing list and everything like that. But yo, when the whistle blows and we in between the lines, Frank Gore is the enemy. I don't care who you are, how long you played for the Niners. You are the enemy. Before the game, I respect you. I love you. Cool. After the game, love and respect. But when that whistle blow, I'm not cheering for you, bro. I'm not happy to see you out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, am I wrong?
Nah, I mean, I've been listening. I listen to KBR every morning. I listen to a lot of their podcasts, especially anything that has to do with the 49ers. They've definitely been on the. It's like when Kobe Bryant was going on the little farewell tour. Seems like that. Like Gordon's coming back and it's like, oh, Gordon, and it's, I get it as far as he's a great 49er and everybody loved him, but in the day we gotta go and go into Indianapolis and beat him up a little bit.
Yo, man, I
I
haven't
hope he has
seen
2 yards rushing. I hope he does bad. This game.
exactly. Exactly. I saw this. We had a video, 49ers.com. They have the video on their YouTube page of Earl Mitchell. They talked to him for all of a minute and 30 seconds. It was all about Frank Gore.
It's like he
Like
never played.
you
He
got
played with him. He didn't play with Gore. Like if you want to
bro, I
ask
don't get it.
Staley or Bowman, hey Bowman, you have to hit Frank Gore a little this week. How you feel? He answers it, okay, move on. Like, but outside of that, like
Yeah,
these dudes, Shanahan, he don't got anything to do with Gore.
bro.
Mitchell definitely doesn't have anything to do with Gore. So yeah, I don't
They,
get
they,
that.
they had a video on there with Mitchell. The whole minute 30 seconds was about Frank Gore. They had a video with Buckner on there. The first 2 minutes of that video was about Frank Gore. Like same thing. Same thing. This guy is ranked higher than J.J. Watt. He is ranked higher than any interior defensive lineman right now in PFF. Those numbers are out there, available for the public. Meanwhile, what are they doing? They asking him about Frank Gore. You don't want to ask him about the new pressure. How does it feel to be a successful? You see your hard work paying off, the benefits of what you were striving for all offseason. You working with Seattle defensive linemen to hone your craft and things like that. Did you think you were going to be successful? You finally got your first sack. No. What do you think about Frank Gore? Who gives a fuck about how he feel about Frank Gore, man? Like, let's talk some
Yeah.
49ers football, man.
He's on the other side, just like a Crabtree or Alex Smith, anybody else. Gore is a great 49er. He was a staple of our offense for a long time, even when we weren't good. But I think they are going a little bit overboard with the Frank Gore talk. If you bring it up one time or a couple of times, just briefly touch on it, okay. But to ask these guys, especially guys that never played with him, I
Mm-hmm.
don't get that.
Yeah, I don't get it either. So, do you know what the Vegas line is right now for this game?
Last I heard, it was 1.5 in favor of the Colts, which isn't good because you automatically get 3 points at home. So
Exactly. Exactly. So, all right, man, here it is, man. Prediction time. All right. So, I think we both think that the 49ers are going to win this game. Am I safe for saying that?
this is the most confident I've been with saying that we will win a game this year.
Okay. Now, I'm going to make it clear because I know that we're going to post this picks article, and I did not pick the 49ers this week. And I did it for one reason, because the weeks that I've been picking them, we've been losing. So I'm taking one for the team. I'm willing to get one wrong. I 100% believe we're going to beat this team. Now, I don't know if people remember, but last week when we did the podcast and stuff like that, I said the 49ers are going to go on a 3-game winning streak. I had us beating Arizona. I definitely got us beating the Colts, and I had us beating Washington. All right. So this is how I felt. I still feel this way, but I'm a superstitious person. I'm changing it up, and I'm actually picking the Colts this week to win on paper. But if I got money in my pocket and I'm going to lay some money down, Niners straight up.
Yeah.
Niners straight up, man, with confidence. So how do you think this game is going to go, man? The Colts defense isn't that good. They don't have much of a pass rush. They don't have any all right, Malik Hooker got his 3 interceptions. You know what I mean? So he's doing something out there. You know what I mean? But when you look at this Colts defense, how do you think they match up against this 49ers offense?
So our offense, man, I know I'm supposed to touch on this quick, but the thing that I see is the problem. We do not have a number 2 receiver. Well, our number 1 receiver should probably be more of a 1B /2. Um, I really like Garcon, but outside of that, he's not getting any help. We've had a lot of drops from the other guys, uh, and that really concerns me. I think that the rookie Trent Taylor, I think he's done very well in the slot. I think he probably will end up giving us a good 5 catches for 40 yards, probably almost every game. But you need another number two guy or another outside receiver, and we just don't have that. And that kind of worries me a little bit. So I'm hesitant to say that we're just gonna, you know, beat them up through the air because I don't really have much faith in Goodwin and Robinson. But I think on the ground, if we can get the ground game going, which we've shown we have pretty much been able to do that every game, even in games where we fell behind and had to get away with it, we had our way on the ground. I I think offensively we should be able to move the ball fairly well. We'll move the ball. We just haven't punched it in for touchdowns. Uh, I think we'll put up some point. I'd be surprised if we didn't score 3 touchdowns this week.
Absolutely, man. I'm right there with you, bro. So that's another thing that people have been talking about. This Niners team. 3 games out of 4, no touchdowns at all, no touchdowns at all, right? But here's what people are forgetting about. People are really really forgetting that we moved the ball, bro. Like the 2 of the 3 games that we had no touchdowns, and there was at least a touchdown pass that was called back because of a penalty. Like the team is moving the ball, we getting down the field, and we get down there and we shoot ourselves in the foot. That can't. I honestly don't believe it's going to persist all year long. I don't think that it's possible for us to continue to make those same kind of mistakes. So I'm hoping that this week is the week that we bust it up. You know what I mean? Both of these teams have 9 sacks on the year. Both of these teams have 9 sacks on the year. One thing that they do a little bit better than us is tackles for loss. All right. If I'm not mistaken, we only have 15 tackles for loss, and they have. Oh wait, never mind. They have 10. My bad. So we actually get back there in the backfield a little bit better. That shows you our aggressiveness towards the run. So I like that even more. You know what I mean?
We have those
Sure.
guys, man. When you got Buckner and you have Solomon Thomas who chases down guys from behind,
Hmm.
Solomon Thomas, I see fans, oh, bust, and it's like, man, I've seen this guy get better every single week.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's not a great edge rusher. I think we all knew that. We're hoping that he can develop into that. But even at him on the outside, I've seen him get better at that as well. He's getting some hits on the quarterback. So, Solomon Thomas, I want to see him. If he does, if he continues to get better like he has each week, I'm pretty sure we'll see some good things from him and some more tackles for losses.
Yeah, yeah, I think so, man. I think it's going to be a big week getting their hands on Brissett. Like you said, he's not the caliber of any of the quarterbacks we faced so far. Their defense isn't as good as any of the defense we faced so far. People are really, really down on these 49ers, man. Look, we played against the Panthers, who have a top-notch defense. We played against the Cardinals, who just 2 years ago were a top 5 defense. You know what I mean? We played against Seattle. Seattle sets the bar for the defense. You know what I mean? And then we played against the Rams. Now, the Rams, the defense happen to be the one we put up the most points with, but they're also learning a new scheme and everything, but they still got some talent over there. We've gone up against some really good and really stout front sevens and secondaries. I'm not worried about this game at all. I can't see how the 49ers lose this game. I can't.
I
I
don't.
think we win this game by double digits, honestly. And I think we have 2 or 3 defensive turnovers this week because I think we get ahead of these guys. I think it forces them to pass, and I think that's going to play into the hands of our defense.
If we lose this game, it's gonna be because of Hoyer. And I don't want to put it on. I don't want to put like other games on him. I think that you know he does play bad in the wrong times of games. Um, there's a lot of different ways you can look at that. We have had drops, we have had different things, but I still think he plays bad at the wrong time most of the time. But if we lose this game in particular, it will be because of Brian Hoyer. And at that point, we've already heard the Beathard talk, start to heat up a little bit. I think if we lose to the Colts, I don't think it'll be talk anymore. I think you might see a change from Shanahan and those guys. You'd have to do it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, man. If Hoyer screws up this week, next week we're going up against a better defensive line. Washington defensive line being coached by Tom Sula. They look legit, man. They look real over there in Washington. So
At some point, though, we can't keep bailing him out with, oh, we're playing against a good defense because you play, yeah, we play some good defenses, and then you have a little easier defense here with the Colts. But then you play Washington. Their defense has been really feisty. And then we play Cowboys, who their secondary isn't very good, but their front seven isn't bad. So now, they got DeMarcus Lawrence. He's leading the league in sacks. They're getting Irvin back, who might be just as good as DeMarcus Lawrence. So then you go to Dallas and you play those guys. It's not going to get easier. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I would, just from what I've seen, Hoyer doesn't help himself because he's not very mobile. He has had a couple plays against the Rams. He had a play where he scrambled for a touchdown uh, against the Rams as well. He had the play where Hyde took out a guy that was blitzing. He spun out of it, made a nice throw. But for the most part, if I can think of two plays off the top of my head, and I think those are the only plays where he made any type of play with his leg or by time to do anything, that's not good. We see every other quarterback make plays with their legs here and there. Even if you're not a mobile guy, you should be able to, things get a little sketchy in the pocket. Let me scramble for, 4
Yeah,
yards and not make it worse. Instead of somebody, touch me and then he just falls down. And now instead of, third and, 4 or third and 6 because you scramble for 4 yards, it's third and 14. We're probably not going
right.
to get that.
Yeah, he
He's
has a
putting
bad
himself
habit.
into tough situations.
He's got a bad habit of spinning into pressure, man. Like it's ridiculous when I see him do that. He does this thing where like he's looking, and then he just like he goes into like this fetal position, like standing like, bro, what are you doing?
He's spinning. He's trying to turn to so that the impact of getting sacked isn't as bad. That's what he's doing. He's
Yeah,
not trying to get up out of there. But then I don't want to jump on the Beathard train. But I went back. I watched some preseason games, and it's like when things get a little shaky, there are times where he stood back there. If somebody's coming in 2 seconds and he gets hit, okay, that's one thing. But Beathard, when the pocket breaks down, he was able to get out of there, and that's what I haven't seen. I'll never put it on Hoyer if he drops back and at the top of his drop he gets sacked. That's not on him. But if he drops back, he pats, he looks, he pats, looks, and all of a sudden somebody touches him and he falls down, I'm gonna put that on him.
absolutely.
You have to be able to at least buy a little bit of time, maybe even throw the ball away, scramble for a couple yards, don't make things worse, and he just hasn't been able to do that. It's
Yeah.
like that's tough. That's tough. It's
Yeah,
tough
I
to
just wanted to
watch.
say what's up to the people in the chat here. Stefan joined us. What's going on, man? I see you in here. I already spoke about Rogish G. Sal is in here. Dave Lopez, what's going on, man? I see you. Go hard. Join us again. I appreciate that. I'm just happy to have you guys in here, man. So I think we taking the Niners, man. You got a final score prediction or no? Like, tell me how much we win by at least. How about that?
Let me see. I think we should be able to have our way with him, man. I think this might be, aside from the Rams game, our most explosive game, and it might be one of the better chances to have a higher score game for the first half of the season. I'll say 31-17.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Go Hard's prediction in the chat over here is 30-19. So y'all right there together, man. Y'all right there with it.
Yeah, yeah. Great minds think
Y'all
alike.
right there with it. Yeah. I think I agree with the 17, but I only had it 27. I had 27 17. So I'll take a win no matter what, man. I'm gonna be hyped. I'm gonna be live. I can't wait to do the reaction show with y'all tomorrow. No matter what, the reaction show is gonna be lit. If we win, it's our first win of the season. I'm gonna be turned up. And if we lose a game that we have no business losing, I'm gonna be turned up even more. I'm gonna be so pissed, man. I'm gonna be so pissed. People, man, y'all got to make sure you are here, you are subscribed, so you get the notification when we start this reaction show. It's gonna be lit, man. I promise you that. I promise you that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Croc, man, thank you so much for joining me again, everybody. You guys make sure you give us a follow on Twitter. The official Twitter handle is nothing but 9ERS. Make sure you follow us over there. Make sure you give me a follow as 49ers Mike _NF as in Niner fan. Croc, go ahead and give them your handle, man.
Eric ERIC_Crocker. Crocker like Betty Crocker. CROCKER. Eric_Crocker.
There you go, man. Getting it done, man. The DB coach of the future. Right here,
Yeah.
live and direct, man.
Hopefully.
I appreciate it. All right,
Fix
man.
those eyes, man. We got to fix those eyes.
Yeah, man. That's what it is, man.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
you
I
said,
forgot to
feet
touch on that,
first.
but real quick. How in the hell on the last play game of the game against the Cardinals. You have four guys within four defenders within 5 yards of one receiver.
Yeah.
That's not good. So things like that, you give up touchdowns like that, is not by accident, it's not by coincidence. That's bad football by the 49ers defense on that particular play. That's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say about that.
Okay. All right, man. I appreciate it, man. We're gonna get up out of here, man. Thanks for joining me, man. Get back to your time with your family and everything. We got some more college football to watch today. And above all
Yes, sir.
else, stay faithful. We out of here.